Hi, this is Monica. Welcome back to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. And today I'm going to tell you the story of how we lost the fight with Mary King. Okay, listen. Tell me that one time that you knew, that time in your life when you knew you was getting ready to get your ass kicked. Don't worry. I'll go first. Me and Margaret and Mary King, okay? Listen, I've told y'all time and time again about how my mom was. But see, me being older than Margaret, I knew better than to listen to my sister. But at the end of the day, that's my sister. I was rolling with her. Listen, Margaret had a plan. Margaret had a plan that not only did we lose the fight with Mary King, she showed us why you should never try to challenge your parent. Listen, this is one about Mary King. Now, I told y'all that my mom was 5'5". At this time, Margaret was 16. I was 18. So Eric had already taught me how to drive. But the rules was when I had the car was I could only go somewhere from like maybe when we got done with our chores to 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock the car had to be parked and we had to be on the porch. Even though I was 18, I was still living in her house. The rules was set. Mary King wasn't bending on this. My mom said if we was at the house, we had to work, keep her house clean, and listen to me. She wasn't raising no hoes. But no matter how many rules my mom had, Margaret took it up on herself. She was going to debate them. Margaret, no matter what went on, Margaret was going to debate Mary King's rules. So before Monique moved out, when Monique was going to stay out late, she would wait till Eric and my mom would sleep. She would unlock the kitchen window and she would go out the window and she would come back through the same window. But we would periodically check the window for her so we make sure she wasn't going to get busted. So nevertheless, we was all sneaking and doing the same thing. Monique had taught Margaret how to do it. Margaret decided that no matter what mom said, she didn't want to be in the house at midnight. Her friends was hanging out. Why couldn't she hang out? So constantly my mom kept telling Margaret not to test her. But nevertheless, Margaret still was getting ready to test her because Margaret is a manipulator. Margaret's a mastermind. Margaret kept the shit going all the time in the house. Now keep in mind when one of us messed up, all of us paid for it. If my mom even suspected that one of us was doing stuff, all the stuff, then she would have us all go down to Planned Parenthood. Everybody got to get a pap smear. My mom was so on it that everybody had girl stuff of a different color. Monique's was blue, mine was yellow, Marcus was pink. So my mom would count to make sure everybody had their stuff came every month. So my mom was on top of it. Regardless of the fact that her raising us, my mom was on top of it. She just wasn't going. When she didn't give a damn what age you was. When 12 o'clock came, if she came to that screen door, your ass either better be in the house or on the porch. There was no questions. But Margaret had got tired of Mary King. Now this fight between us and Mary King started on a Monday. How do I know it was Monday? Because I went to go pick Margaret up from school. When I picked Margaret up from school, we got to the house, switched our clothes, and we went to work at McDonald's. Now, Mom had been telling Margaret all that week, you're going to keep pushing me, and I'm going to have to mess you up, little girl. But she didn't say mess you up. She said, you know what she said. But anyway, Margaret kept telling her, yeah, okay. But see, Margaret was always taller than my mom. But Margaret is tall and she's skinny. But Margaret got a mouth on her. When I say Margaret got a mouth on her, Mom would get on Margaret's behalf every trip. But me being, my mom raising us to be close, I was always protective of Margaret. So when Mom and Margaret would get into it, I would like get my mom's attention off of Margaret so she'll leave Margaret alone. Because my mom had been giving Margaret like 2-piece nuggets all week. I mean, it started on that Monday. But Mom had been checking Margaret all week. So the fight actually started Friday. Now, my mom and Eric wasn't like bad parents. We had stuff. But our stuff just wasn't brand new. I had a car. But it actually was Eric's old car. But it was running real good. And he told me I could use it because I had my driver's license. So every Friday and Saturday, me and Margaret would go up to Goldman's parking lot. We'll sit up there. We'll drink a little bit and I'll creep to the house before midnight. Because the rules was, during the week, we was at home at 11. We had to be at home at 11. We had to be in the house at 11. But we had to be at home at 11. On the weekends, it was 12. My mom was not going to bend on that. Mary King, she said what she said. That's what she said. Shut the fuck up, Margaret, because that's what she said. I said the cuss word because that's what she said. Margaret and Mom kept going at it. That coming Thursday, I'll pick Margaret up again. But this time I told Margaret, I said, Margaret, they having a party up at the Thirsty Eye. I said, but we can be there, but we got to still be at the house at 12 o'clock. Now, me and Margaret planned on going up there. But Margaret, being the genius that she is, she came to me with a plan. She was like, Monica, she was like, Mom and Eric going to go to sleep because they've been at work all week. She was like, why don't we just climb out the kitchen window and we're going to sit on the porch until they fall asleep. We'll climb out the kitchen window, we'll go to the party, and we'll come back before they wake up. I told Margaret, I said, that sounds like a good idea. But I knew that this plan wasn't going to work because it was Margaret's plan. And Mom and Eric is not stupid. Mom, no, you can't get it past her. Okay, where we thought that Mom didn't know what was going out that window, she knew. But she never said anything. She waited until we messed up, and we did. You got to understand, Margaret thought that she had a plan to get it past Mary King. Mary King was 10 steps ahead of us. She knew that window was open. We didn't know that she knew that we was climbing out the window. But Mom had Mom had an idea that this is what was going to happen. Margaret thought this plan completely out. What we was going to do was wait until my mom and Eric went to sleep. Once they went to sleep, I was going to put the key in the ignition and we was going to push it to the end of the driveway. Now, first of all, my mom's driveway in the back, it's got a little slope. But the street where her house is at is really narrow and it's a pole right on the other side of her driveway. So if you're not careful, you're going to hit that pole. Now, I was supposed to put the car in neutral and then we was going to jump in the car, we was going to go to the party, and we was going to get back around about 2 without my mom or Eric knowing about it. Now, what happened was we cleaned up and we got everything ready. We had told my mom we was going to go up, we was going to go riding. My mom's rules was we couldn't drink while we was riding and don't have nobody else in that car. It was only supposed to be me and Margaret. But because Margaret thought this plan out and it was Margaret's plan sounded like this. We're going to go pick up some friends. We all going up there. We're going to get drunk. We're going to have a good time, blah, blah, blah. We was getting ready to break every rule Mary King had in one night. Margaret ruined it. In one night, it was terrible. So we got everybody rounded up. I was supposed to, we waited until my mom then went to sleep. My mom told us, she was like, you know what? She was like, I raised y'all right because y'all always on the porch at midnight. She was like, I don't care if y'all stay up. She was like, I just don't want nobody in my house. I was like, yes, ma'am, and whatever the case may be. My mom and Eric went upstairs. Me and Margaret waited till about 1 o'clock. And we thought my mom and Eric would sleep. She heard us come through the door and we locked it. She heard us go up the steps. Margaret came in my room and we shut the door. We started laughing and stuff like this, but what we was really doing was we was changing our clothes to go up to Goldman's parking lot to the party. We crept down the steps. We climbed out of the window. I put the car in neutral and I forgot that somebody had to be in the car in order for the car to be stopped and not hit that pole. First mistake number 1, we hit the pole. But nevertheless, we got in the car. I looked at the bumper. Nothing was wrong with it. I should have stopped right there and climbed back in the window. I should have stayed at home. But nevertheless, I was a stupid kid listening to my dumb sister with her stupid plan. So we went to the party. So we get to the party. Now we get to the party. Everybody at the party. The party not just in Thirsty Eye. The party is in Goldman's parking lot. So we up there, and all of a sudden I get this really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. It's Mary King in the pit of my stomach because I know something is wrong. I go and find Margaret. I tell Margaret, we need to get to the house, I said, because I think Mom and them up. She like, oh, you always panicking and stuff like this. You need to relax. You always panicking. Margaret was not listening. Not only did we not get there at 2, we didn't get there till like 3:30. So we thinking that we done got scot-free. Now, I already messed up by hitting the pole. I'd already messed up by climbing out the window. I had already knew at the party, when I had that feeling in the pit of my stomach, I knew my mom was going to kill us. So Margaret didn't give a damn. Margaret didn't give, not one damn did she give. Margaret kept on partying. By the time we left from where we was at to get to my mom's house, it easily is a 15-minute drive. I had to turn the car off, but when I hit the corner, I had to turn the car off. And I had to be at enough speed for when the car is off to make that turn and slide that car into that parking space the way it was when my mom seen it. I got the car back into its parking space. When I got the car into the parking space, me and Margaret took the shoes off. Margaret went through the kitchen window first. I went through the kitchen window last. When we got in the kitchen window, I slid the window down. When I slid the window down, Eric turned the kitchen light on. Right then, I knew right then Margaret's plan had failed. Margaret knew her plan had failed. But when we looked past Eric, is when I knew that we was dead. Because there stood my mom waiting on us to get back in the house after she told us not to leave. All I could do was just stand there. But I think we would have got away if Margaret hadn't wanted to stand her damn ground. Margaret, my mom said, "What in the hell do you think you are doing? Going out my kitchen window, messing with my curtains." If you know my mom, her kitchen curtains is her everything. My mom was more mad that we went out her kitchen curtains than we was leaving out her window. Margaret told my mom, she was like, "All you ever worry about is your curtains." When she said this, I turned and looked at Margaret like, I can't believe you. As soon as Margaret said that, my mom said, "I don't want to hear nothing that you say." She said, "All I want y'all to do is to get past me and get to your damn room." Now, I'm thinking in my mind, we can make it past Eric, but making it past Mary King is not going to happen. My mom stood back and she put her fist up. And when she put her fist up, she started rocking back and forth. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, she is getting ready to kill us. Margaret, like, I am so tired of you always putting your hands on me. This made my mom even madder. Not only now is she walking back and forth, she was like, "I will show you the difference between a woman in the house and a bitch in the street," okay? So Margaret is making my mom madder and madder because she going back and forth with my mother. My plan is now in effect. I'm going to go first. I'm going to let her go ahead and kill me. And I'm going to go make it to my room because Margaret getting ready to get demolished. And ain't nothing I can do about it. So I started walking towards my mom. When I got halfway to my mom is still rocking back and forth. I am 6 feet. My mom is 5'5", maybe and a half, if that. But keep in mind, my mom then was like 40, 41, 42 in her prime. She ready. It's going down. I'm first. So I walk up in arm length distance of my mom. My mom catches me the first time like bop, 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 bop. I'm thinking, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and let her do it. I'm going to tell her I ain't going to do it no more. Da-da-da. Man's going to be over with. I thought my mom was done giving me a 2-piece nugget. No, my mom wasn't finished. She went into overdrive like, wah, 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 wah. Like a ninja. My mom was on it. She was punching everywhere. So as soon as mine was over, I went and got mad, and I didn't want to show her that I was crying. I went on ahead and walked upstairs. She had already handed me my behind in 10 seconds or less. But Margaret wasn't going for it. I got halfway up the steps. I heard my mom say, "Bitch, I'm waiting on your ass to walk past me." Margaret clearly put her fist up at my mom to defend herself. Me being protective of my sister, it started happening in my brain in slow motion. Margaret walked up to my mom and swung first. When Margaret swung first, I know this is what happened because my mom said you done fucked up and you just swung at me. That's when my mom took Margaret and started whooping. When I say Margaret, my mom was boxing with Margaret. My mom was giving it to Margaret. Now, because I was protective of Margaret, I ran back down the steps. Eric was trying to get my mom off of Margaret. Margaret is holding on to my mom's shirt. Margaret, I don't know what she was thinking, but my Margaret was still trying to swing on my mom. Eric telling Margaret, you better cut it out because she get ready to kill you. My mom was on Margaret's behalf, so by the time I made it back down there, I was still wounded from where my mom had already wounded me. I was wounded. It wasn't a whole lot I could do at that point. I had lost the fight with my mom because of Margaret's stupid plan. But Margaret was also losing, but she didn't know she was losing. She's still going to try to fight the last fight. When I tell you we broke Margaret and my mom up, I took Margaret and started dragging her towards my mom's living room. We was in her dining room. Where the table is at is in the center of her floor. Eric pulled my mom all the way to the kitchen, and he was talking to her. She was on the refrigerator. I was getting Margaret's stuff, and I was trying to get Margaret up the steps. Margaret got mad for the third time. She lost the first two fights. Now she going for round 3. Margaret turned around. She was like, that's why with the first chance I get, I'm moving out of here. She was like, because I don't have no life. When she said this, Eric thought he was going to block my mom. My mom took off out the kitchen. When she took off out the kitchen, she got in her dining room chair and ran across the dining room table and she jumped on Margaret like NWA, NWE wrestling. My mom took Margaret down for the third time. This time, when mom took Margaret down, I, being protective of Margaret, I grabbed my mom, not knowing that this was my mom. I grabbed her. But when I grabbed her forcefully and pulled her off my sister. When I pulled mom off my sister, her face ended up in my face. And she looked at me like the exorcist and she said, bitch, get your hands off me. Right then, I stopped and I let her go. And I looked out at Margaret. And this is the one time I turned on my sister. I told her, this you're going to have to handle. I was already wounded from where my mom had already demolished my whole life. But Margaret, at this time, all I seen my mom do was grab Margaret up by her pants and her shirt. And when I say my mom threw Margaret, she threw Margaret at the front door. When she threw her to the front door, Margaret slid down the door. Clyde came out his room, and that's the only reason why my mom stopped. From that point on, I never tested my mom ever again because all I can remember about my mom is that she jumped off of that dining room table onto Margaret. To this day, Margaret and my mom still go back and forth about this thing. When Clyde came out the room, my mom backed off of Margaret. I grabbed the remains that Margaret was, the whatever she had left of her whole body. I took it upstairs and I asked Margaret, why did you just shut up? Why didn't you just leave it alone? Margaret turned to me and she was beat up. I mean, Margaret looked like she had lost, like she had got jumped, but she hit, but because my mother jumped off the table. But nevertheless, I told Margaret, I said, Margaret, why would you try to test her? You know how she is. The very next day, we came downstairs and we was walking and we was messed up. So my mom made us sit at the dining room table. And she told us, she said, don't you ever in your life try me again. And she was looking at Margaret. She said, my rules is my rules. If you want your own rules, get your own apartment. She said, but as long as you live in my house, you will not climb out that window. 12 o'clock is the rules. She said, I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to start watch out. I said no. From that point on until I moved out, my ass was on that porch before the sunlight went down. I came in 4 hours early because I was scared that she would lost time of what time it was. But nevertheless, this began when Margaret and my mom started like battling back and forth. They never got into it as bad as this one, but every now and again Margaret still would test her. I don't know why Margaret chose to test her. I think I was just a kid thinking like we gonna have a good time. But at the end of the day, my mom meant what she said. And if you got a mom like my mom, you would not test her. To this day, this is the reason why when I call my son, and I had to call him, he called me G. But at the end of the day, if he ever tests me, he already know I'm taking him all the way down. Your mother is supposed to be your mother, not your friend. My mother was just not our friend.